Hello, I'm Minister James, and today I want to talk to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1, and it says, "Pursue love and earnestly desire the spiritual gifts, especially that you may prophesy. For one speaks, for one who speaks in a tongue speaks not to men, but to God. For no one understands him, but he utters mysteries in the Spirit. On the other hand, the one who prophesies speaks to people for their upbuilding and encouragement and consolation. The one who speaks in the tongue builds up himself, but the one who prophesies builds up the church. Now I want you all to speak in tongues, but even more to prophesy. The one who prophesies is greater than the one who speaks in tongues unless someone interprets, so that the church may be built up. Now, brothers, if I come to you speaking in tongues, how will I benefit you unless I bring you some revelation or knowledge or prophecy or teaching? If even lifeless instruments such as the flute or the harp do not give distinct notes, how will anyone know what is played? And if the bugle gives an indistinct sound, who will get ready for battle? So with yourselves, if with your tongue you utter speech that is not intelligible, how will anyone know what is said? For you will be speaking into the air. There are doubtless many different languages in the world, and none is without meaning. But if I do not know the meaning of the language, I will be a foreigner to the speaker, and the speaker a foreigner to me. So with yourselves, since you are eager for manifestations of the Spirit, strive to excel in building up the church. Therefore, one who speaks in a tongue should pray that he may interpret. For if I pray in a tongue, my spirit prays, but my mind is unfruitful. What am I to do? I will pray with my spirit, but I will pray with my mind also. I will sing praise with my spirit, but I will sing with my mind also. Otherwise, if you give thanks with your spirit, how can anyone in the position of an outsider say amen to your thanksgiving when he does not know what you are saying? For you for you may be giving thanks well enough, but the other person is not being built up. I thank God that I speak in tongues more than all of you. Nevertheless, in church, I would rather speak 5 words with my mind in order to instruct others than 10,000 words in a tongue. Speaking in tongues is a wonderful thing to do. It's wonderful. But what is more wonderful is to be able to be in a position to help somebody. And they can't be helped if they don't understand what God needs them to do. And speaking in tongues is between you and God. But it doesn't edify anyone and it doesn't help anyone until that someone understands what God is saying. So if God is speaking to you while you're speaking in tongues and you're getting revelations, it doesn't mean anything to the other person until you share it with that person. They don't understand your tongues, but they do understand the revelation if you share it with them. And that's what it means for someone to be edified, to be helped. And it goes back to another scripture too. There's another scripture that says that knowledge puffs up, but love edifies. Knowledge is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. Just like tongues is a wonderful thing. But once again, knowledge has something to do with just you. You know, what you know. Just like tongues, it has something to do with just you and what you're doing between you and God. And knowledge is something that you have in possession in your mind, in your spirit. But it doesn't mean anything to someone else unless you help them with that knowledge. You help them understand that knowledge. So that's why the scripture goes on to say, but love edifies. So knowledge puffs up. It makes you confident. Yes, it does. Just like speaking in tongues, it builds your spirit up. But your tongues don't mean anything to anybody unless you are able to interpret what God is saying, or what God is saying in the tongues, or what it doesn't mean anything. Your tongues don't mean anything to anyone unless you are able to interpret what is being said, so that that person may be edified. And your knowledge doesn't mean anything. It puffs you up, but it doesn't help anybody unless you're able to share that knowledge in a loving way, in the way that the person would receive it. And that's when your knowledge really means something. You know, that's when it really carries a lot of more weight when it comes to helping somebody. So once again, there's nothing wrong with speaking in tongues, and there's nothing wrong with having knowledge. But more importantly than speaking in tongues is being able to help somebody. In other words, prophesy to them and speak a language to them that they understand, so that they may be helped and edified, so that they may become a better person in God. And there's nothing wrong with knowledge, but there's something better than just having knowledge in your mind, in your head, and in your heart. There's something better than that. And what is better than that is being able to help somebody with that knowledge, being able to edify them, being able to love them, being able to help them through love, being able to help them understand what God has given you. So God gives you knowledge not merely for you to feel puffed up and feel confident and to feel bold. There's nothing wrong with feeling confident and bold in God. But what's more important than that is being able to show love to your neighbor, and being able to transfer that boldness and that confidence, and help your neighbor feel that confidence and feel that boldness. Help them feel bold. Help them feel confident. Help them to know what you know. And that's what means something to God, is when you have a neighborly attitude, not just being prideful. God doesn't want us to walk in pride. He doesn't want us to walk in the pride of Satan, but he wants us to walk in the spirit of love towards one another. And knowledge, if you're not careful, it can make you feel prideful. So knowledge can make you feel confident. That's wonderful. It can make you feel confident in God. That's wonderful. But be careful that it doesn't separate you from your neighbor, because God is more concerned with you not just knowing stuff, but he's more concerned with you being able to relate to your neighbor and be able to show your neighbor in a loving way what you know, so that they may know the same thing. All right. So I hope that this message was some benefit to you. And if you have any questions, just contact me, or pray, or ask someone that you trust who is in God, who loves Jesus Christ. All right. So God bless you, and I will talk to you later. Take care.